Hi, Pawan. How are you? Hello, Pawan. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So, Pawan, can you tell me something about yourself?
Yes. My name is Pawan Kumar Gaur. I
Mhm.
am from Kanpur, and currently I am working in TELUS International
Mhm.
as a software QA engineer, as a module lead.
Great.
I my role and responsibility is planning test case writing and test strategy and execution the test cases.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
also involved in bug reporting, daily status report, and defect management tool also, using the Jira tool.
Hmm. Okay. Great. So, which are the different things that you will include in your daily status report? You are sending daily status report, right?
Yes, right,
Yeah.
during the
Mm.
release of project.
Right. So, which are the different things that you are sending in your report, daily status report?
So actually, it's based on our execution.
Mm.
If we execute the test cases based on the functionality, then it vary in the report as well.
Mm.
If I executed the four test case on daily basis, and of four of them, two are the fail and two are the pass, then it reflect in the status report as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's say you came across a situation where you were testing something, and in that module, you've got a blocker issue. So how would you deal with the situation? Would you update in the daily status report, or would you just update the development team for now? What would you do?
So actually, first thing, in my company, what is the process is that particular what we got as a blocker,
Hmm.
first send a mail to a respective team. Okay, so
Hmm.
and we follow up that defect, and follow that mail all the time, and while it got the fix, right? So after and at the evening time, we include that blocker defect in our daily status report and send it to the project team stakeholders.
Hmm.
Okay, and follow all the defect life cycle during the this process, and also log that defect in Jira tool as well.
Okay. So basically, what you are doing is whenever you get any critical issue with respect to the feature that you are testing, you'll raise a defect, you'll have a word with the development team, you'll collaborate with them, you'll get it fixed as soon as possible. And at the end of the day, in your daily status report, also, you can update that the testing was uh, not done for 2 hours, or maybe 2.5, or maybe 3 hours, because the fix was to be done, and you were waiting for that fix to happen, and that's why you were not able to test for 2 to 3 hours because of that defect, right? So those kind of status also you can update.
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. Now let me give you one scenario. Hmm. Is my screen visible to you?
Mm, yes, loading now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So these are now real-time scenario-based questions that you can expect in an interview when you are going for software testing interview or manual testing, right? Now, let's consider this scenario. You are testing a mobile app that allows user to upload images. So after uploading an image, you notice that the image appears distorted, and it is the pixels are also not appropriately coming in the app. So how would you do the root cause analysis? How would you investigate this issue? What would you do?
First thing, it seems that it's a GUI testing, where GUI testing where the image are not uploading on a uh, particular application.
Hmm.
So uh,
You can take your time to think. No worries.
So once it is not uploaded in the image, then then we then we identified the pixel what is the mention in a DB or in a particular element.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So images are uploaded, right? So that kind of scenario is working. But after the image is uploaded, the images does not appear to be in the correct the screen's resolution or the screen size. So how would you investigate? So let us say you will approach the development team, you will get it fixed. But what do you think, why such kind of things are happening? So maybe you will do some kind of R&D, you'll do some root cause analysis from your side to figure out what is the cause behind this defect. Hmm?
It may be pixel
Hmm.
resolution is high of the particular image, one
Hmm.
thing, and also identified the uh, size of the image where it is stored in a DB or anywhere. Uh, so it is not properly uploaded. It not capture all the pixels in a image.
Okay. What else? Do you want me to help you out in this question?
Actually, we have not done this type of testing.
Okay, no worries, no worries. See, you will get these kind of things because you are having experience, right? So
Yes,
definitely,
yes,
this kind of problem solving questions wherein your experience would be counted and sorry. So in an interview, the discussions can also be triggered. Why do you feel like this? So those kind of real-time questions would be asked to you. So
yes,
see, first of all, what you would do is you will verify the dimensions and the file format of the image. There can be various file formats of the images. Let it be PNG, JPG, GIF, GIFF. There are so many extensions for that, right? Now, what is there in the requirement? What is there in the user story? You are following Agile. You are aware about user story, right? So
yes,
what is mentioned in the user story? Accordingly, you will see if the file format of the image is proper. Okay, that is one of the checkpoint. Then you would examine the image processing logic. Now, how would you examine the image processing logic? I am not telling you to go into the code, but there would be some kind of logs that this application might be keeping at the back end, or maybe you can get that access, and you will see from those logs you will identify, okay, maybe during this particular time duration, maybe when this was the flow, maybe when this was the file type, it was creating an issue and the image was not getting properly displayed, right? So the you have to come up with kind of a, not I would say the solution, but root cause. What is the problem, what is the issue, that is what is the cause that is triggering this issue, right? Then what you will do, you'll
yes,
also test the app with different types and sizes of images, right? And you'll see if the issue is consistent across all the uploads. So is it happening for all the images? If it is happening, then accordingly you will put the severity and priority. If it is happening for some particular image type, for some particular resolution of some particular size, then you will keep the severity and priority maybe low as per that, right? You would also see, is that a concurrent kind of an issue, concurrent testing issue? Is it when the 30 users together are trying to upload the image and then it is not working? Is it a single user issue when the single user is trying to upload the image and then it is happening? Is it dependent on the network that it has been used, maybe mobile hotspot, maybe Wi-Fi? Or is it because of some kind of images that are being saved in some shared path and that shared path is not accessible, right? So what you need to do, such kind of things you need to discover, and then you can put in the defect, you can update the defect in the Jira. Then you will collaborate with the development team, right? You'll also work with them. Okay, what kind of unit testing you had done? Was this scenario covered from your unit testing part? If it is not covered, then please include this, because we are getting this issue in our build, in our testing. right? So those kind of things you will tell. So you'll document your findings. You have reported the issue during the once it is fixed, then you will retest all these kind of scenarios. Or maybe you are a module lead, so you might tell some of the team members to retest all these scenarios. You'll review his or her test results once it is done to ensure that the testing team is thoroughly testing it after as a part of retesting after the bug is fixed, right? So that's how you will tell them.
Okay.
Okay, fine. So this is done. Now let's take this scenario. Hmm. So let's say you are a part of testing team, right? You are already a part. Let's say you are a module lead of the testing team for the self-driving car application. So there is an application, there is a software related to the self-driving. Okay. Now you discover a critical flaw that could endanger passengers. So that means you have identified some critical issue in the software, right? Which is super critical to get it fixed. But your project is already going in the delayed state, right? And any further delays that could result in the significant financial loss for the company as well. Okay. How would you handle this situation? What steps would you take to address this particular things? You are getting the question, or should I repeat?
Yes, 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 yes. I'm getting.
Okay.
I think first thing we first reach out to our project team to know about the this issue, and and arrange a immediate call to fix as soon as possible the particular defect before the deploying
Hmm.
on a priority basis.
So you will update your project lead. Then what else did you tell?
And then and
Yeah.
communicate with our stakeholders before
Uh,
the deploying the project
okay.
to this is the issue, so we can take the time to resolve this issue.
Hmm. Okay. Then what else?
uh, and uh, manage the triage call to our developers for to fix the issue as soon as possible,
Hmm.
and communicate this is the high priority issue, and need to fix before the deployment.
Hmm. Okay, but your project is already delayed. So the developers will tell we already have got the P0 issues and the user stories to work on, and currently we don't have a time duration for this.
Mm. So in this case, we can say this is a known issue. All and trigger a mail to all the stakeholder, and this is fixed to next release. It
So
can
you
be
mean to say you
possible.
will release with this known issue?
Yes, as a deferred, we can say.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. What else? Okay. Any other point from your side?
So commonly we are follow these steps in our
Mhm.
project actually. If you got
Okay,
a defect, yes.
right, right. Okay, now there are two things that we need to consider here. See, at one side is you have discovered a critical defect, and the other side is further delays could result in a significant financial loss for the company. So now what you will do is, so this point is correct. You will communicate to the project lead and stakeholders, and how you will communicate, not verbally, but by sending an official email.
Yes, official.
Hmm? So you will send an official email and with a high importance that this is a defect that you have got. And then
Mm.
you will schedule a high P0 meeting in which you will involve dev leads, project leads, right? And client as well, right? And communicate to them. What you will communicate? The defect and the magnitude, or you can say the impact of the defect. What is the impact? What is the magnitude of this defect? So first is, see, whenever you have a word with the management, you have a problem statement with you. So if you will go with just a problem statement, then they will not be happy. As a QA lead or as a senior QA, what we need to ensure is we have a problem statement with a possible solutions. So maybe solution number one, solution number two, solution number three, or maybe plan A, plan B, plan C. If plan A does not work, then plan B, plan C. Plan B does not work, then plan C. So such kind of solutions, such kind of possible approaches you can tell. Now, without delaying, if it is possible, then what you will suggest is get two dev members from the development team from the other project,
Mm.
right? Or maybe who are on bench to get the solution of this problem, right? Or if this is a critical, so then the question in the cross question that you might get in an interview, those people are on bench, they don't have product knowledge, how would they fix this critical issue? So then what you have to tell is they cannot work on this critical issue. Maybe they can work on the user story which the current development team is working, and the current development team can work on this critical issue, right? So that's how you can explain. And then the second point is with respect to testing. Again, the currently testing team is also working on some particular issues or some particular user stories testing. So what you can do is, with respect to testing, you can request someone from the client side if they can perform testing of few of the user stories, because client will be performing UAT testing, right? So you can get the approvals for maybe one or two user stories. You have written the test cases. You'll do a high level smoke testing that this functionality is working fine, but the detailed level of testing can be done from the client side. That is one of the approach. This is how you can manage the time. Maybe you can use test automation scripts if possible, right? Fourth is you will get the impacted areas. What are the impacted areas of this particular defect? Okay, and those things you will include in the regression testing during the release. So that currently what you will do is once the fix is done, you will just do one round of testing with respect to the issue, and then during the release you will be doing detailed level of regression testing also, so that thing will also solve that such kind of issues don't come up. Hmm. So these are basically points that we discussed. How would you handle this situation and what steps would you take to address this particular things,
Yes.
right? And as and when, let's say if you were about to get this defect fixed, so today is a Saturday, let's say you are about to get this defect fixed on Tuesday. On Tuesday, let's say you didn't get. So first of all, in the morning during the stand-up call, during the sync-up call, you will inform the team that today is Tuesday, so we are expecting the fix as per the currently planned timeline for this particular defect. If it comes, so that is the P0 thing. If it does not comes, then we will have to again escalate it, right? So escalate it until and unless it does not comes as a fix. And then once the fix is there, check whether unit test cases are attached, whether the unit testing has been done. If unit testing is not done, then you need to again talk to the development team that whether the fix has been provided, is are they confident enough that the fix will work, and then you can start with your testing,
Okay.
right? Because it's a critical issue, so you need to give it a priority. Is this clear?
But yes, sir. But it's clear.
Yeah. Okay. Now, what is the difference between test plan and test strategy?
Uh, Actually, test strategy part of the test plan.
Hmm.
In the test plan, we define the how to achieve our testing goals to bug free our functionality. So in this test plan, we planning the test analysis, test case design, test executions, and test closure, and and exit. So these are the main functionality of the test plan.
Mm-hmm.
And in the test strategy, we define our environment and what is the testing tools need involved in the testing. So these are the features of the test strategy.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you are using SOAP UI tool for doing API testing, right? You mentioned in
Yeah,
your
in some
resume. Yeah.
yes, in our few projects, I used SOAP UI
Hmm. Okay.
only for the
So,
data validation.
right. So how would you handle authentication in SOAP UI? What are the different methods for handling authentication that you will get in the SOAP UI tool?
Basically, authentication used for to authenticate a user uh, to access a particular resource over the server. So we just input the authentication username and password.
Hmm.
So do we get the access a particular resource over the network?
Right, right. So how would you do it via SOAP UI?
There is a functionality
Hmm.
in a SOAP. We set the authentication and
Hmm.
just enter the username and password. Then we can run our request. So in that case, we get the details or information from the server.
Hmm. Okay. Which are the different methods that you will get in the SOAP UI? Which are the different types of authentications that you can do in SOAP UI?
Authentication, first one is basic authentication, and
Right.
auth 1.0, auth 2.0, and
Hmm.
API, and two or
Then,
three is not coming in mind right now.
uh, no worries, no worries. So this is a mock interview. So if
Yes.
you get this question in a real-time interview, so you can answer in this manner. See, first is basic authentication. SOAP UI is supporting basic authentication, so you can provide credentials directly in the request settings. Then is OAuth support. So SOAP UI is facilitating OAuth authentication by enabling users to configure OAuth tokens, right? SSL configuration is there. Then WS security is there, right? These are the different authentication methods that you will get in the SOAP UI. Okay. In your resume, you have
Yes.
mentioned that you are doing security testing. So, which are the different tools, or maybe if you are using single tool, so which is the tool that you are using for doing security testing?
Actually, actually, security testing I have not done in the past.
Hmm. Okay,
Yeah,
right.
by mistakenly, I just
Uh,
remove our resume.
okay, no worries, no worries. That's fine. Then, okay. Um, which is the test data management tool that you are using?
Jira.
Jira that you are
Test,
using.
sorry.
Hmm.
Please, could you
Yeah,
please repeat again, question?
yeah. So, which is the test data management tool that you are using?
Uh, this is an in-house TDM tool
Hmm.
in a TELUS organization,
Hmm.
where we raise the addresses for a particular project to test that particular application. So I
Hmm.
involved in the TDM team to to collect the data in a different environment, just like some databases where we get the addresses of particular regions like
Hmm.
Burnaby and Vancouver, and based on that we configure that data on a particular region for the for the check feasibility
Hmm.
to a particular region. If a customer go that particular addresses, then
Hmm.
he can check particular addresses. Then feasibility will be passed for a particular products.
Okay. Hmm. So in your resume, you have mentioned you are involved in release support, release to QA, testing the release process. So can you elaborate? Can you explain in detail about the testing that you are doing during the release? How do you do release testing?
So release testing is nothing but we prepare the documentation uh, for the release our projects. What all about our test cases, uh, execution, executed, pass and fail. Based on all the things, we prepare the release document
Hmm.
on a daily basis.
So you will update this document on the daily basis?
Yes.
Okay, fine. Okay. So can you tell me what would be the test strategy of testing in software or an application which is there on the travel domain?
So test strategy, we just basically done on the database testing in
Mm-hmm.
that time, and we just scroll all the data from the travel domain website,
Mm,
scrolling all the data just like uh, date, itinerary, and a particular destination. All the
mm,
things are stored in a database. Then all the data are normalized
mm,
in a proper way by the database team. After that, we our basic requirement
mm.
we just verify the itinerary between the two distance. Okay, so
Okay.
we just select a particular itinerary and a particular column and verify that itinerary just like a 12 itinerary between the two distance. So we just open that particular website and match the both itinerary. Okay,
Mm.
so if it is matched, then our test case is passed.
Okay. So you mean to say you are trying to manage the two different locations, source and destination, right?
Yes,
Yeah. And then you are testing that particular thing on this travel website, whether it is matching. And if it is matching, then the test case is passed. But
yes.
if it's a travel domain thing, then you would be testing with respect to various options of travel, maybe flights, maybe buses, maybe trains, right? So how would you come up with a test strategy of all these things? How would you ensure that you have got 100% test coverage?
So mm, first thing, our scrolled data, what is the normalized form, we
Hmm.
just check through the query to count the particular destination and particular source is matched in our database.
So you're doing
Okay.
database testing. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, great. So you're hitting the SQL queries. So how do you create these queries? Do you create it by yourself or do you take the help of dev team in this?
Actually, this is provided by dev team, but
Hmm.
as per the scenario situation, we just implement a little bit in our query
Hmm.
and then run it over the structures as per
Right,
our
right.
department.
So this thing you can tell in your introduction as well that you are doing functional testing. Apart from that, you are doing database testing. You are hitting the queries and you are getting the data. You are fetching the data from the database and then you are using it to validate the expected results, right? This would really help you in the self introduction when you are giving. So, do you remember the first question that we just discussed was on self introduction? You could
Yes, sir.
tell this point there also. Your database testing is very important. And if you are doing it, it's a good thing. Do you use any stored procedures or just SQL queries?
Uh, I have a stored procedure used
Hmm.
in particular domain, but I
Hmm.
still not recall at this time. But
Okay.
it is a set of the SQL query where we use store procedure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Great. Okay. No worries. So Pawan, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Actually, how I have a question regarding the how to overcome the interview, and most thing is how to come over the our uh, fear of the interview.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Okay.
and and one more thing, how to improve communication while the giving
Hmm.
interview.
Right,
Yes,
right. So we'll answer all these questions. So first question is the feedback of the interview. So feedback of the interview is good. See, you have to improve on explaining the things in an interview. Maybe you are working day in and day out. You are working
yes, sir.
every day. You might be having experience of more like senior QA, or as you were telling, module leads. But it is very important how you explain these things in an interview. The more you will speak, the more you will explain in an interview, the more it would be helpful for you, right? That is one of the aspect that you have to work on. So you have to convert your work which you are doing the content that you into the content that you can speak. Now how you will develop
Sir,
that confidence, how you will overcome that fear? Yeah, please go ahead, please go ahead.
can I ask?
Yeah.
Actually, this is the main issue with me. Ki I am not explaining more about a particular topic, a particular
Hmm.
subject.
Hmm.
So, just due to this, I am demoralized
Hmm.
mm, at the interview time.
Right, right.
Uh, yes.
No worries, no worries. See, such things do happen,
Actually, I
and
have
you
a
have.
more
Hmm.
experience on a particular in any, just like a travel domain and
Hmm.
uh, telecom domain. But I have working all the domains very well. But during
Hmm.
the interview time, I am not explaining more about a particular things. This is the
Hmm.
main issue with me.
Hmm. So, how would you overcome it? See, the very first thing that you have to do is you have to keep your mind in a very calm state. What happens is the interviews there, I have to get selected. Such kind of thoughts are getting bombarded whenever we are having an interviews. So you
Yes, sir.
have to overcome these thoughts. Rather than these thoughts to come, what you should invite is about your thought process that you are applying into your software testing job, into your day-to-day work, what things that you are doing. So you have to memorize those things. Maybe what you can do is you can take one pen and paper, you can jot down all your roles and responsibilities, all the good things related to software testing. So recently we covered a couple of things. You are creating daily status reports, you are going through database testing, you are doing it, you are validating it, you are customizing queries, SQL queries as per your test scenarios. So you have to frame all these things in one pen and paper. Take that document, frame all these things. Now, how will you memorize these things? So daily you have to go through that pen and paper, go through that page, and you have to understand, okay, these are the things that I have to explain in an interview. How you will practice. You can book slots for mock interviews. Maybe we can connect on every weekend, Saturdays or Sundays for 30 minutes for 1 hour. And you can also practice before the mirror. Before the mirror, you have to sit and you have to practice all these things. Imagine you are conducting a self mock interview from yourself. So how you are speaking, with what confidence level, face yourself. Slowly and gradually what will happen is you would be able to overcome the fear of interview, you would be able to speak in an interview. The third important thing is how to develop good communication skills. So there are number of OTT platforms in which you would get Hollywood movies. You can watch with the subtitles on. So you can watch with English subtitles on, because basically English is the language which would be used in the software testing professions when we are communicating with clients or cross team members or even with our team members. So you can watch those movies, those series episodes with English subtitles on, right? These things would definitely help you, right?
Yes, sir. And sir, one more last question. What is
Mhm.
about our interview?
Yeah, yeah. So